Hey, Steve here. I want to take just a moment of our time together to tell you about the easiest way to make and host a podcast. It's called Anchor. I use Anchor to make and host Moveable Do, and I've been extremely happy with the experience. They have creation tools on the site that help you create, record, publish, and share your podcast to multiple podcast streaming sources, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. The best part, it's absolutely free. No monthly cost, no hidden fees. So if you've been thinking about making a podcast, and you know you have, download the Anchor app today or visit anchor.fm to get started. Thanks for listening, and let's get back to Moveable Do. Welcome to Moveable Do. This is Steve Danielson. Join me each week as we explore the minds of living composers. We talk about their lives, their musical journeys, and of course, their music. For a complete archive of episodes as well as access to the shorter segments called Movable Snippets, visit my website sdcompose.com/moveabledo. Hey, this is Steve. Here we are to wrap up Season 5 of Moveable Do. When I started this project back in August of 2020, I wasn't sure how long I'd keep it going. Now here I am with 5 seasons under my belt. I've talked with 70 composers, with many more featured on Movable Snippets. I have been blessed to hear their stories about their lives and their music. They've all had such unique experiences that it's been like 70 master classes on what it means to be a composer from 70 different perspectives. As we finish out Season 5, I would like to thank all of my guests from the season. Ola Yelo, Paul Honey, Lori De Leon, Reginald Unterzeyer, Hilary Weeks, Giulio De Carlo, Justine Kuntz, Ethan Sperry, Brent Michael Davids, Katarina Gimmon, Sherry Blevins, Al Vanderbeek, Matthew Hazard, and Christopher Tin. I will link to all their websites in the show notes. I'm always amazed as I list out the names how incredible it has been to talk to all of these composers. I hope you've enjoyed listening as much as I have enjoyed making the show. I'd love to hear from you about what your favorite episode was or something that you learned that you didn't know before. Please join us on our Facebook group, Moveable Do Listeners, and drop a comment there. Or if your podcast listening platform allows, then please comment there. I'd love to know how the show is resonating with you. So there have been some exciting things happening in my life during this season that I wanted to share with you. First, as I mentioned on another bonus episode, I've started a second podcast, this time with my wife, Angie, as co-host. It's called Knowing Hymn, Hymn, and we are talking about and singing the hymns of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We've been having a great time doing this together, and I recommend going to check it out. Second, I am now a published composer. Former guest of the show, Mike Merrill, has begun a new music publishing company called Two Bridges Music Press, and he has published several of my works, like The Itsy Bitsy Spider and Midnight Dance, and others of my pieces that have been featured on Moveable Do. In fact, the season's opening music, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, is also now published through Two Bridges. I just completed a flute and piano arrangement of How Great Thou Art that will be published in the next several months. I'm excited about the direction my music is heading, and I encourage you to go check out Two Bridges Music Press. I'll put a link in the show notes. Thirdly, some of my music is now also available on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, and pretty much wherever else you can stream or buy music. Not only some of my more serious choral works, but some of my sillier works from when I was in college, and my friend Kyle and I had a group that we called Those Two Annoying Guys. We've got some songs available on those platforms as well, such as Your Sister Looks Like a Cat, Subliminal Messages by our album We Need the Money, and of course, Fruit and Cake, the Fig Newton song. Please go to your favorite streaming service and look up Steve Danielson and see what's there. More will be coming soon. Okay, it's finally time to talk about this season's opening music. So what you've been hearing is a very small snippet of a 15-minute work called A Soldier's March. This piece was commissioned by the poet Richard Manwaring. He's on the board for the Ensign Symphony and Chorus, which is how we met. He contacted me near the beginning of the pandemic with an offer to commission a piece based on an epic poem that he'd written over the course of 26 years during his military service. As his experiences evolved and unfolded, he would take up the poem, refine, redesign, and then set it aside unfinished. He finally finished the poem in 2003 after serving in Iraq and experiencing the horrors of that combat zone. He wanted a piece to dedicate to all those who have been touched by the cold hand of war. As I read the poem, I began to see the grand scale of the piece and the depth of emotion. It grew into a piece for chorus, orchestra, and a baritone soloist. I spent months during the pandemic writing it and began teaching it to the Ensign Choir as we met virtually, just to have something to keep us going. In June 2021, we had the chance to suddenly do a live concert with a much smaller choir and orchestra. So I pared down the orchestration to a Soldier's March, and we did what I called the soft premiere in June of 2021, sorry. 1 year later, in June of 2022, we were able to finally do the full premiere in Benaroya Hall with Richard in the audience. And so without further ado, I present A Soldier's March with text by Richard Manwaring, performed here by the Ensign Symphony and Chorus with the composer conducting, and Jared Lovelace as soloist.
Soldier boy, where are you marching? Young man in the screen of years, to what distant field of battle, loving farewell in your ears, brave death ringing, nobly singing, blind to bloodshed, deaf to fear. Fierce oppressing hearts and pulsing blood keep rhythm with the drums protect. Desperate thoughts and churning bowels betray the pending mortal threat. Dry mouths mumble prayers and curses, gripping hands run cold with sweat. Now the saber points to heaven, drumsticks rise to sound the knell. With the downward slash of steel, the bugles blast, the war drums swell, and with one voice the young men charge into the gaping jaws of hell. On the burning field of battle, screaming, dying all around. Gore and horrors ne'er imagined, youth bled white upon the ground. And Satan's gleeful laughter peals amidst the awful, thundering sound. Tragic in your death, oh, where is the beauty? Where is grace? Ere long, your shell is borne away, and grass will grow where your blood spilled. A tower of stone will be raised up to tell what happened on this field, of boys who bravely fought and died, of honor, glory, sword, and shield. Over hill and over dale, over rock and rill and plain, a grim procession marches homeward, slow drums beat a sad refrain, while loved ones anxiously await to greet the quick, to grieve the slain. See our banner, house in mourning, hear a war drum softly beats, breaks of life falls from his neck, of holy thunders then return. soldier boy, your journey's done as weeping king. Come and your bark into the womb of Mother Earth, your soul to God the patriarch, and we who dwell in Shadowland pray, hope for light beyond the dark. To attend this sacrifice, to attend this offering made, your youth, your life, your unlived years, your gifts upon the altar laid. Never pray, let us forget by blood the price of life is paid. Soldier boy, where are you marching? Young man, bound no more by years, to Elysian fields beyond, loving welcome in your ears, filled with peace and joy and light, gone the sorrow, pain and fear. We'll meet again beyond the goal, beyond the veil, beyond the years. Till then, farewell, eternal youth, with
So there you go. If you enjoyed A Soldier's March, please check it out on iTunes, Spotify, etc., or purchase the sheet music through Two Bridges Music Press. So that officially wraps up Season 5 of Moveable Do. I can't wait to see what Season 6 will bring. In the meantime, please like and subscribe to this podcast and visit anchor.fm/moveabledo and become a supporting member. Want to contact me directly? Have an idea for the show? Email me at moveabledo@gmail.com. Until next season, this is Steve Danielson. Keep the music moving.